From the creepy Lone Jogger to the sexy modern reboot, the Hamburglar has been burgling burgers across multiple decades and multiple design changes. Here's his whole weird history. The Hamburglar was the brainchild of the Needham, Harper, and Steers ad agency. The TV kids show HR Pufnstuf had hit it big, and the creatives at the ad agency went knocking at the doors of Sid and Marty Krofft, the creators of the show featuring the Puffy Dragon and friends, to see about a collab between McDonald's and the Crofts. The goal was to tie McDonald's into the puffy puppet look of HR Pufnstuf to draw in the audiences of both brands. The universe was dubbed McDonaldland and featured Ronald McDonald and his friends, including his soon-to-be nemesis, the Hamburglar. Other characters in the McD's universe included Grimace, Mayor McCheese, the Fry Kids, Officer Big Mac, and Captain Crook. McDonaldland was the perfect fictional world for the campaign that McDonald's had undertaken to promote its play places. The imaginary place featured talking trees and bobbled-headed characters, strolling along winding roads, all of which led back to, naturally, McDonald's. It might sound harsh, but creepy is the best way to describe the earliest incarnations of the McDonald's Hamburglar. The character's cute round face and affable nature were both noticeably absent. The earliest commercials saw him wearing a big hat, a mask, and a trench coat that he would open to reveal the words Lone Jogger. Given that the rest of the characters in the universe drew inspiration from the puffed-up puppet-like characters of HR Pufnstuf, the Hamburglar definitely fell on the questionable side. Aside from this, the character didn't actually speak English, but rather various forms of gibberish, making him the kind of character you'd be inclined to keep at arm's length. Someone at McD's headquarters presumably came to their senses because eventually, the Lone Jogger version of the Hamburglar was replaced with more palatable alternatives. In 1985, the Lone Jogger became Hamilton B. Burglar, the new and cuter version of the Hamburglar. His face got rounder, as did his nose, which became positively buttony. Basically, he looked much more in line with the kind of characters you would have seen on HR Pufnstuf. In the years prior to the 1985 rebrand, another company, Chuck E. Cheese, sprang up in the fast food world, in 1977 to be exact. Mr. Cheese also underwent a cuteness makeover, which likely wound up inspiring Hamilton B. Burglar's move up on the cuteness scale. The other important change came by way of the Hamburglar's method of communication, English, and not his famous gibberish catchphrase.
Robber, robber!
All the changes were attempts to turn the thief into an adorable robber, making him less threatening and more inviting to kids. Everyone needs a partner in crime, and for the Hamburglar, that was Captain Crook. While much of the inspiration for the McDonaldland universe came from HR Pufnstuf, Captain Crook took some visual inspiration from Captain Hook in the 1953 movie version of Peter Pan. Given that his friend, the Hamburglar, already had dibs on stealing the burgers, the captain's jam was stealing the Filet-O-Fish sandwich. In time, the Crook was stricken from his name, and he became simply the Captain. Aside from being the fish thief to Hamilton's burger-robbing ways, Captain Crook played interpreter for the Hamburglar during the time the burger thief spoke only in gibberish.
Hamburglar, what are you doing in jail?
I want the cheeseburger. He says he captured himself to get the reward.
Before he ultimately left McDonaldland, the captain also underwent his share of physical changes. His earlier incarnations, while not quite as creepy as the Hamburglar, still had off-putting elements, like a mop of stringy hair, caterpillar eyebrows, and a handlebar mustache. Later versions of the character made him at least more Muppet-like. We know the Hamburglar played a pivotal role in McDonald's commercials over the years, but he also starred in The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald, a TV series that served as further promotion for the company. For McDonald's, it was a pretty good deal all around. The company introduced the characters via its mini TV commercials, enough to make kids not only want to eat the company's kids' meals, but also eventually beg their parents to get them copies of The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald to watch at home.
This is your very own clown, Ronald McDonald. Hoping I'll see you next time, live and in person at McDonald's.
This conveniently forced customers to come into their favorite neighborhood McDonald's to pick up their favorite episode. 5 of the 6 available shows were marketed like this, which pretty much guaranteed a steady stream of customers coming in to get vittles and videos in the same visit. It might be argued that McDonald's is just as much a toy company as it is a fast food company. With his now round face, one-tooth grin, and fat little sneakers, the Hamburglar counts among McDonald's cuter mascots turned toys. And like his on-screen persona, the Hamburglar as a toy has had many iterations. In one of the many versions over the years, the Hamburglar came as part of a set of 4 in the McSpace set, which provided Hamilton B. Urgler with a snap-on spacesuit. But collectors aren't just limited to plastic Happy Meal toys. McDonald's also put out another series of toys by Remco. The characters themselves were constructed of plastic. Their clothes were cut from cloth and could be adjusted or removed. The set also came with its own play place, though it was more elaborate than some other incarnations. And like every other piece of pop culture on the planet, the Hamburglar is also a Funko Pop figurine. Remember how the ad agency for McDonald's, Needham, Harper, and Steers, tried to work with HR Pufnstuf creators Sid and Marty Krofft on some McDonald's-themed advertising? Well, the Crofts agreed, but were later told that plans for the whole McDonaldland thing had been scrapped, except they hadn't been. The series went forward with the Crofts' ideas, but no Crofts. So the Crofts turned around and sued the McDonald's Corporation for copyright infringement. When the case finally met its resolution, the courts had decided that the overall look of the series, and not one specific character, matched the HR Pufnstuf world too much to be just a coincidence, allowing the Crofts to win their copyright suit 6 years after filing it. After being a steady part of the McDonaldland gang for years, including up through the 1990s, the Hamburglar more or less disappeared from commercials in the early 2000s. His disappearance was tied in large part to the disappearance of Ronald McDonald himself. The great clown prince of McDonaldland fell victim to changing public sentiment. The Hamburglar eating public was getting older and, at the same time, more diverse. Ronald never totally disappeared, but in order to stay relevant with the burger-buying public, McDonald's shifted its advertising away from McDonaldland and the gang, and more towards adults. In keeping with this, McDonald's introduced its longest-running ad campaign, the I'm Lovin' It commercials, which were launched in 2003. That same year, the McDonaldland series was shelved. New campaigns emphasized personal autonomy. While childlike youthfulness may have played a role in its new marketing attempts, childish attachments didn't.
For adults who've still got some kid in them.
I'm loving it.
McDonald's had also begun to face some backlash for using kid-friendly characters, like the Hamburglar, to promote unhealthy eating habits among kids. Not that the food itself got any healthier, but anything that didn't fit with McDonald's new branding philosophy and a stronger emphasis on a healthier way of living had to go, including Hamilton B. Urgler. When the character rose once again from the ashes in 2015, he looked, well, a lot different. Less cutesy trickster and more flesh and blood human, for better or worse.
Rubble, rubble, America.
The new and improved, more grown-up, more human version of the Hamburglar raised a few eyebrows, to put it mildly. He sported a 5 o'clock shadow, auburn hair, red gloves, and a very impish grin, which earned him the kind of fans that earlier incarnations of the Hamburglar never had. The commercials themselves lost their layer of baby fat, in a manner of speaking. Slick production design gave the new commercials the look of a hard-boiled detective novel, and over-the-shoulder shots of the Hamburglar facing his costume imbued the character with a bizarre edge that he'd never had in the McDonaldland universe. The grown-up Hamburglar also had a more adult job to do. In the old days of the character, promoting kid-sized burgers and the delights of McDonaldland were the domain of the Hamburglar. The 2015 version of Hamilton pushed the sirloin third-pound burger. The goal was to make the burger giant seem like a more progressive burger company. The grown-up Hamburglar played a big role in that evolution, at least for the duration of that short ad campaign. Like pretty much everyone these days, the Hamburglar showed up on social media for a while. During the 2015 campaign to inject some burger-stealing sexiness into the character, the new and improved Hamburglar got the chance to play a bit on X, formerly known as Twitter. Though the posts are gone now, the McDonald's X account would occasionally post from the Hamburglar's point of view, writing things like, "McDee's is after me. Apparently, so is my wife. Tweet robble robble to keep them off my trail." Another post read, "I'm dodging McDee's at every corner. Keep tweeting, robble robble America. Time to grab more sirloin burgers." The marketing tactic apparently worked enough to build up some steam on X, with fans even comparing him to Ryan Gosling.
I think it's really close. I can't tell the difference.
However, the best of all of Hamilton B. Ergler's accounts may be his LinkedIn account, with his past experience listed simply as corporate espionage, retired. Unfortunately, the fun didn't last, and this campaign was also retired after a time. McDonald's has never been shy about partnering with other brands to sell goods. They team up with just about every movie to provide toys for their Happy Meals, after all. But the cross-branding doesn't end there. In 2023, the burger giant made a deal with Crocs footwear to create a series of Crocs shoes based on some of the McDonaldland characters. Like Funko Pops, Crocs are basically a blank plastic canvas for designs based on brand partnerships. From Barbie to Shrek, Crocs have done it all. So it was really only a matter of time before a McDonald's collaboration made its way to our feet. The 4 different styles of shoes include elements that give their inspiration away from the first glance. The Grimace sandals are a deep purple shade. There's a yellow pair for Birdie, and a red one that's just full-on McD's. Naturally, the Hamburglar gets a design that's all about stripes, in honor of the striped jailbird outfit he normally wears. Acquiring the shoes will set you back by $70 to $75. It'll cost you another $20 or so if you want to buy the matching socks. In 2023 and 2024, McDonald's burgers will be hotter, juicier, tastier, according to their marketing department. They'll also apparently be more stealable, since the Hamburglar is making yet another comeback. Gone is 2015's edgier incarnation. Instead, McDonald's is reverting to the tried-and-true kid-friendly design of the Robbler to sell their foodstuffs. The new menu rollout apparently features burgers with a softer bun, caramelized onions, more sauce, and the meltier cheese, none of which is important right now. The point is, they're going to be so mouth-wateringly delicious that the Hamburglar was forced out of retirement just to get his hands on them. Burgers that are getting the star treatment in this new campaign include the basic hamburger and cheeseburger, the double cheeseburger, the Big Mac, and the McDouble burger. The beginning of the rollout will be focused on international markets and the American West Coast. But if you don't live in any of those places, don't worry, they'll show up everywhere eventually. Robble, America.